Johnson giving us the words today. Right, 12:15, the time now since the early 1980s when they burst onto the scene with Take On Me. a-ha have enjoyed huge success over the 4 decades. They've just released their latest studio album. It's called True North. It's accompanied by a film, and the band have described their music as a letter from their home country of Norway. Well, Magne from a-ha joined me on BBC Radio Manchester, and I asked him, where did the idea of a combination of music and film come from?
Truthfully, it came from, I think, the pandemic definitely had something to do with it, because we just cancelled, 50 shows in 2020, and like the rest of the world, went into lockdown and isolation. And I guess, like everybody else, I was just binge watching Netflix and trying to find my feet. And I saw this live performance in a barn by Bruce Springsteen called Western Stars.
Tonight the Western Stars are shining bright again.
Our manager and I had just, started talking about, is there something we can do? We had to cancel all these shows. Can we do a little live stream for our fans? Can we possibly, what should it be musically? Should it be like an acoustic, kind of MTV Unplugged #2 type project, or should we just record some songs from our solo projects as a-ha? And then I thought, well, we could do a performance, a live performance from our home country. And then immediately when we started kind of planning it, it was clear that, Paul had songs that he wanted to, I was writing songs during the pandemic, and it just kind of seemed to grow from there.
And we'll talk about the music, but the Norwegian Tourist Board must have been delighted and very grateful, because for many of us, we are seeing probably parts of Norway that we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's pretty majestic up there, isn't it? It's an incredible landscape, but I didn't really want it to be like a tourist postcard from northern Norway. It was more a kind of atmospheric visuals to complement the music. I haven't gotten a thank you card from the Norwegian Tourist yet.
Honestly, it is just incredible to watch, and obviously the music to go alongside it is it's astonishing, actually, because I think for me the first thing I noticed was the beautiful lyrics in the songs. And does that make it easier or more difficult in some ways to compose music when you've got such powerful lyrics to go alongside it?
Well, I can only say how it works for me, and it's not always the same. But again, as an artist, being in isolation is not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of what we look for, on a regular day. But, sometimes music comes first, sometimes words come first.
You were renowned in the 80s as well for doing videos, so I suppose this collaboration and this coming together of the film and the music, it's not that unusual for you, is it?
No, to be honest, the initial thought was to make it much more of a live performance with an audience, and now that didn't pan out because of the restrictions imposed. So we found ourselves, ironically, writing songs about a rising ocean. We found ourselves recording this in an old swimming, an old pool that had been drained out and is now a concert venue. So we're literally metaphorically on the water as we did it. It wasn't always a pleasurable thing to have a video with every single, but as we progressed in our career, we were super lucky with the Take On Me video being such a wonderful visual piece and such a great short film. But I think, with this, it was more, we always use visual examples to describe music to each other. Like when we were in the studio in the past, it always used to be like, I'm looking for this sound that is kind of like an eagle soaring over a mountain. So you're using visual references all the time.
And it is unmistakably a-ha, isn't it? And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I suppose when people think about you, it's of a very up-tempo group. Funnily enough, I love the slower tracks that a-ha did, like Stay On These Roads. Obviously, being an upbeat band, were you encouraged to be a bit more upbeat, or did the record companies embrace that melodic, sort of slower side of the group?
I think it took them some time to embrace it, to be honest. With Take On Me being such a runaway success, I think they were sort of hunting high and low for a similar song to follow up on the second album, and we purposely didn't go down that route. You know, we were sort of, yeah, we got all this other great music that we're writing now, and we want to showcase that.
But I know I'll be hunting high and low.
So there was some friction, I guess, with our record company in the early days, that we sort of stuck to our guns, and I think in hindsight, 40 years down the line, if you like a-ha, it means you like different kinds of music. Most of it melancholic. Even Take On Me is a minor key song, and we did a kind of a sad ballad version of it for our MTV Unplugged, which was kind of just to prove, okay, when you hear this, you can tell that it does belong with the songs like Stay On These Roads, the songs like Hunting High and Low.
Talking away, oh, I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway. Today is another day to find you shying away.
It's not a freak, it's not something that we did to get attention, but I mean, I must say, it's just hard to get your pulse up that high now these days. We're getting too old. 170 odd beats a minute. It's tough, man,
I'll be gone in a day or two.
Do you know, I'd never heard the unplugged version of Take On Me from MTV. That's beautiful, isn't it? Right, more from Magne from a-ha on the way. Few problems on the